Fear is real and powerful, but it doesn't have to run the show. In this episode, we dive into how fear can impact your career transition and why feeling afraid doesn't mean you're not ready. Let's talk about moving forward, even when you're shaking in your fabulous boots. You're listening to This Woman Can. I'm your host, Janice Sutherland, where I help mature professional Black women take charge of their careers and lives to create a future on their terms. Hey everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode of This Woman Can. I'm your host, Janice Sutherland, career strategist, mature Black woman, executive coach, speaker, and firm believer that life after 50 is where the real magic happens. In this episode, we're getting into something we all deal with, no matter how smart and successful we are. 4 letters, F-E-A-R, fear. Specifically, the kind of fear that keeps us stuck, hesitant, second guessing ourselves. And today we're getting real about it, something we've all wrestled with at that point, because fear can be debilitating. Not the kind that tells you not to touch a hot stove, but the kind that whispers, what if you fail? And who do you think you are to want more? Now, let me confess, today's episode was inspired by my conversation a few weeks ago with Dr. Nikki Coleman. She said so many things that I had to just, dig into a little bit more into some of the things she said. And fear is actually a recurring theme I hear with some of my clients. And she spoke in our interview about how it kept her tentative. But I want you to understand that fear isn't a weakness. It's not a sign that you're broken or you're not ready or lacking something. It's human. Just because you feel fear doesn't mean that you're on the wrong path or you're going the wrong direction. In fact, I'd argue that fear is often a sign you're headed somewhere new and important. So let's unpack that together. And more importantly, let's talk about what to do with that fear once it shows up, because trust me, it will. Now, as I alluded to earlier, fear shows up in sneaky ways. It's not always a loud stop. Sometimes it whispers. Maybe later, wait until the kids are settled. Let's just get a bit more money in the bank first. You need another certification before you can do that. Sound familiar? It's not always panic and heart palpitations. Sometimes fear is polite and responsible and sounds exactly like the voice of reason. But here's what I want you to know. Fear, as I said, isn't there to destroy you, it's there to protect you. But it's often protecting a version of you that no longer exists because you're ever evolving. You're thinking about new possibilities. That old fear based programming doesn't quite know what to do with this new, braver, bolder, wiser version of you. So it panics a little. Yeah, you know what? That's okay. Let it panic, let it speak, but don't let it drive. Don't let it make decisions for you. So let's talk about what you can do when fear starts whispering or yelling. The first thing to do is name it. Don't just say, I'm afraid. Be specific. I'm afraid I'll fail. I'm afraid people will judge me. I'm afraid I'll disappoint someone. When you name it, you shrink its power. 2, get curious. Ask, is this fear based on current facts or past experiences? Because often we're reacting to old wounds, not present dangers. 3, shrink the step, not the dream. You don't have to leap. You don't have to do everything all at once. You just need to move. And if the goal is too big right now, make it smaller. Want to change careers? Start by updating your LinkedIn profile. Want to launch a business? Start with research or a conversation. Movement builds momentum. You don't have to do it all at once. 4, borrow bravery. If you can't find your own courage, borrow someone else's. No shame in that. Talk to women who have done what you want to do. Listen to their stories. Courage is contagious. I promise. Trust me. 5, celebrate any action. Doesn't matter what size it is. Any action you take in the presence of fear is brave. Write it down. Toast to it. Tell your inner critic to take several seats. So, yeah, fear is real, But it's not a prophecy, it's not a command, and it sure as heck isn't the whole story. You are allowed to move scared, you can do it frightened. It's your prerogative to change your mind, your life, your future. You're allowed to do it, even if your hands are shaking a little, because this woman can, and that woman is most definitely you. So if this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who's feeling stuck in her fear loop. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, leave a review because it helps more amazing Black women like you find the show. So until next time, keep showing up for yourself, fear and all, because you've got this. Thanks for listening. If you got something from this week's episode, please let me know. Better yet, share it with your friends, colleagues, and anyone you know who can benefit from this message. Don't forget to subscribe or write a review and connect with me at my website, janicesutherland.com, where you can also subscribe to the This Woman Can newsletter or connect with me on LinkedIn. Remember, you have the wisdom, resilience, authenticity, and power to create a life on your terms. And if I can, you can, this woman can. Take care until next time.